put on silent, turn it off yet. Do that. That's great. Also, again, reiterating about the dinner tonight. If anyone would like to take part, please. There's a list on the registration desk. Just put your name, strategy. The group will include academic experts, motoring bodies, and representatives of the automotive, energy market, renewable electricity, biofuel, electronics, and ICT industries. The transport in the 21st century is facing the biggest revolution since the invention of the internal combustion engine, and the innovations and technology being discussed and exhibited at this second annual festival will play a vital role in driving that change. And I was a little bit remiss in not thanking our sponsors for the day. So again, big thanks to Intermode, Go Green Electric, Webpage Oz, Adelaide City Council and the Government of South Australia for providing sponsorship for the AEVA Festival today and tomorrow. Again, give a hand to our sponsors.
Talk about a bit of work that we've been doing recently with the Auto CRC. So the Auto CRC is the Cooperative Research Centre for Advanced Automotive Technologies. So you can see why we call it the Auto CRC. So this is work called Planning for Electric Vehicles in Australia. So it's the University of South Australia, Auto CRC, and we've also had support from the Department of Trade and Economic Development as well. The other interesting thing is that when you're increasing the peak demand, every time someone goes out and buys an appliance, the electricity industry has to go out and have to take in the load on the household, so that you're not going to trip circuit breakers in your house. Also the load on practical realities of infrastructure and charging. I'm going to go through my section fairly quickly because, quite frankly, I don't think you want to hear an accountant talking about certain bits and pieces. Landscapers are then going to go through the technology. What we'd like to do is, rather than us stand up here and talk to you, we would like you to ask us the questions because
and as such, I do get a little bit carried away with jargon and so forth. I'm quite passionate about the technology and it'll probably come out as I'm talking. Generally, I present to audiences who aren't very technical. Can I make the assumption that a lot of you are technical and you like a bit of techo stuff? You bring it on? Okay. I'll do that. All right, so I'll get into the technology stuff with a bit of depth. I'd like to talk about the issues, the challenges that are before us from an infrastructure or a charge.
Members have converted their own cars, all their petrol cars converted to electric drive. And that, I think, is a very good thing for a number of reasons. Number one, you can have new life for older cars. So at the end of some petrol motor lifespan, you can convert the car to electric. You can extend the lifespan maybe for another 10 years. It does create some local business and local expertise. And I think also it sort of pushes some development. If there wasn't any EV conversions, maybe no one would take the whole wave seriously. Maybe not that much input was the new Australian EV. Now, for our cars, I mean, as mentioned before, we use green energy. So we have solar panels in one of the buildings.
What we're going to be talking about is basically the South Australian policy context, just to give everyone a bit of an overview of where we're at and what we're going to be doing and what's driving, I guess, our interest in low-emission vehicle strategy. And which will come up in the second part and talk about actually developing the strategy and where that's going.
So we've got a Premier's Climate Change Council in South Australia, so that was established in 2008. Its role was to provide advice to the Premier on pretty well anything related to climate change. So that means from anything to do with reducing emissions through to trying to adapt to the physical impacts that climate change is projected to have on the
I've been predominantly in R&D, so this is a technology that is really new and exciting. And technology is something that really interests engineers, and this one is probably the most exciting one that I've seen in all of my time. I've changed my presentation. I've been talking to people about EVs for about the last 3 years, and generally I'll talk about the iMove specifically, but because we've brought this product to market now, and it's been my responsibility to do so as the project manager, I'm trying to move forward and just give you an idea of where we're going to over the next few years.
country far, far away, in the United States of America, of course. Those of you so I expect in this audience, most of you have seen the DVD Who Killed the Electric Car, these being the relevant cars, the GMP quite relevant. My mate in the States who's got the old one in his garage is not encouraging me to sell it in a hurry, because he's quite enjoying minding it.
AEVs with renewable energy and offers for Janssen. So this is going to be a fairly quick sort of snapshot of my view of the world and you know what these projects look like. So, in the first question about renewables, obviously wind power generation and other intermittent forms of generation are about at least twice the cost of I'll say coal-fired generation. Obviously ignoring the pollution costs of that generation, which is the root cause of the problem. Obviously they're intermittent. They only generate when the wind is blowing or the sun is shining or the currents are flowing, so they're not sort of base load in inverted commas. They can be visual, but it's not happening in Australia. We started much later. But generally around 15 years or so, they'll be changed out and repowered. Yes.
With all the money that's available, do you see any prospect of it going to getting the grids to where they need to be?
Getting the what?
Getting the grids extended to where they need to be.
Well, yes. There's a lot of activity happening with grid expansion.
My talk is titled "Where's Trev?" Originally, when we were planning this event, Trev was supposed to be here, but Trev's not here at the moment. So before I explain where Trev is, just for those of you, several of you, actually quite a few of you seem to know what Trev is and where Trev is, which is very pleasing. What is Trev? With automotive design experience, to take a couple of classes of industrial design students and see if they can come up with a car. So rather than do what a lot of people do is take a conventional car and let's see if we can make this clean, our approach was to look at what we've learned from solar racing, these highly impractical but very clean cars, and see if we can make them practical. Give it better suspension, better brakes, a bigger battery. The rules for the zero race were that we had to be able to drive 250 kilometres without charging, and our range was 120 or something. So we needed a bigger battery. So we pulled together a team of volunteers, quite a few of them here today, and basically rebuilt the car. The other thing we had to do was get it registered, so we've done that. The car is registered in South Australia, South Australian number plates. And a couple of days after we got it registered, we put it on a plane and away we went, landed in Geneva, and we've been driving.
My talk has been subtitled "Why We Should Do It," to differentiate between that and how we should do it. If you want to know how to do it, you must join AEVA and come along to the meetings and workshops and learn. It's certainly going to take a lot longer to learn that than you will here. We're told that necessity is the mother of invention, and indeed it's true that she is very fecund. However, mankind has always been inquisitive and has pursued knowledge and creativity for their own sakes. The many inventions that we now regard as essentials in our lives were curious toys at their time of invention. Many inventions never saw production as they were truly bizarre.